Okay, cheers and welcome back to Solar Phenom Training, where the smart get wise and the wise get wiser. We are now actually going to take all of the information that we have gained from the homeowner's utility bill, our roof design, and our electrical panel limitations, and we are going to put this information to work and design the homeowner a solar system and figure out what price per watt that we want to sell it at. So the first thing we do is we log into our CPF account. We go to the customer tab, create a customer. We can do residential, commercial, nonprofit. There's plenty of drop downs in there. We can do retrofit or new building. One of the first things that we are going to do is we're going to put in the homeowner's names. Make sure that you put capitalizations on the first and last name, because this information on this general info sheet is going to be what gets spit out on your actual contract. So when you do this worksheet, you need to make sure that all of your information is correct. Homeowner's first and last name is spelled correctly. Their email address is correct. All this information needs to be 100% correct. As you're putting this information in, it'll auto-populate sometimes. If you notice, when I put the zip code in, it automatically takes me to Temecula. So this is the homeowner's first name. If I was selling this homeowner a product where I needed to do a credit check, and I wanted to check both homeowners' credit scores, I would put one homeowner in the primary contact and the other homeowner's name in the other contact. I'd put their phone number and her email address. This information is used on the email address so that when you do a credit check, it will send them a credit check to these particular emails and give them an instruction on how to finish their credit check and put in their social security and other private information. If you wanted to add another mobile number or alternative email, you could do that down here. Do not mess with the federal tax credit or the federal tax rate or the state tax rate unless you know that this homeowner is in a different rate than 33 or 9. After this screen is completed, you go to current energy usage. I'm going to take our sheet and shrink it down so that we have we can just take that information and put it onto our spreadsheet. So I know that this is a Southern California Edison customer. I need to verify that they're in that certain territory. Online is a territory map for Southern California Edison that tells you per city and per zip code of where each zip code is and in which territory, and we will review that in a later lesson. But for right now, I'm going to enter their actual usage. So January 1771, I hit the tab button, go to February 1458, 1491, 1366, 1348, 1348, 1297, 1381, 1558. I'm taking this straight off of my site audit form. September 1953, 1336, 1344, 1293. If you notice, it also calculates the cost from the actual bill. If I go to my spreadsheet, I guess I actually didn't, I removed that spreadsheet, but you can actually verify on your Excel spreadsheet that you have completed through their Edison online account. You've taken their kilowatt usage history and you've clicked on the bills and payments tab, and you've actually seen exactly what their calculated cost was. You can input that actual cost from the bill in this spreadsheet as well. If you just wanted to enter that information and actually check the homeowner's credit now instead of continuing to finish their proposal you could go to Customer Credit Now. You want to save your changes. After you save your changes, it's going to bring you to another screen where you're going to basically initiate an online credit check. Initiating an online credit check would be basically where you are going to send the customer an email from whatever email address you've inputted on that main screen. You are going to actually send them a credit check with instructions of how to check their credit. But we're not going to do that right now. We're actually going to go back to our customer info tab and complete this proposal. So I've done their info, I've done their current energy usage. I'm now going to go to the site. We can use this site tab if we need to, but we have already done our roof design and our layout based on Google Earth. So if you notice, it's going to take you to that property. If you just wanted to work off this measurement tool, you would click on this tilt button up here, click on the bottom lower of the eave, drag, and this would give you a rectangle issue of 251 azimuth. That rectangle equates to 50 feet in length and 20 feet in width. So if you wanted to save that array, you would save that array. You would add an array. I'm going to call that array west. I'm going to call this one south. And I'm actually going to go and use my measurement tool on that little roof that we have designated that can only take 7 modules. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to click on the lower eave corner, click right next to this valley, drag it up. Use my tool to drag that rectangle to where it's supposed to go. I have my azimuth again, come back down here and I hit save. Now my solar shading issues are always going to be 95. So 95 tab all the way across. This is overriding the 100% shading, which is min shading, which we can't do min shading because otherwise when we go and do our site engineering, if the shading actually comes back at 95% and we've put it in there at 100%, we are going to have to re-sign documents because Clean Power Finance's tolerances are plus 5% or minus 2%. So we need to make sure that we are within the tolerances. And I know that that roof doesn't have any shading issues, but I'm putting 95% in there to be safe. So I save and create a proposal based on those. I'm going to create a proposal for myself. I'm going to do 80% bill to offset. And I'm going to save and continue. And this is going to take me to the nuts and the bolts of the actual quote, and it's going to let me adjust whether or not they're going to be on a time of use, non-time of use. If they're on non-time of use, they're going to be basic in their basic tiered territory 9. If they're going to be on time of use, you're going to be in a basic territory 9 with 12 events per year. So non-time of use is what we're going to provide for this homeowner. If they had any planned changes in their energy usage, like say they were going to replace their HVAC unit with a more energy efficient HVAC unit, I would do my due diligence, find out how much money or actually how much kilowatt hours they're going to save in the summer months, because we all know you don't run your AC in the winter months. So if that was the case, I would say they maybe are going to save 250 kilowatt hours per month based on a new and more energy efficient AC. We're not going to do that. I just wanted to show you that you could do that if you wanted to do that. Quiet, cool whole house fans save you up to 90% off your AC usage in the summer months. So you could factor that into your May through September or October kilowatt usage. The system is going to be exactly what modules, inverters that we have planned for this homeowner. So before I forget, I'm going to add an array. I'm going to add my south array or west array. So this one's going to be my south. I'm going to click these buttons right here that is going to override the default settings, which we put 95%. I'm going to override the azimuth. So now I have my module orientation is going to be portrait. We didn't really talk about portrait and landscape, but we'll get into that later on. But if you notice, my hand wah modules in here, so we got our hand wah modules in here. We're going to actually use, I know we said we were going to use 250s, but for some reason right now the system doesn't have the 250s in there, and I will change that. So we're going to use the Trina modules. We are going to put 7 on our west facing roof. We are going to put 27 on our south facing roof. And if you remember, back to our spreadsheet, this is exactly what I have on our spreadsheet, which is 27 modules and 7 modules. One thing about Clean Power Finance is they don't really get that particular with the azimuth. If you notice that, I don't know, you got to make sure that your azimuth is overridden. They do their azimuths in 5-degree increments, so it really is not that important that you get down to the exact, like if it was 161 azimuth, they're going to round it to 160. They're going to round it to the nearest 5 numerical value. So we're going to use, we have Trina solar modules, we have this size system, actually 27. Just be careful because the system is online and it is live, so just make sure that you always make sure that your screen is correct. One of the things that's valuable about this tool is when I input all that information, if I hit this recalc button down here on the bottom, it always recalculates what inputs I have made or if I've made any changes. So if you notice, the system size is going to change from 4.9 to, should be somewhere around 8.33. My production per year, my utility bill offset is at 82, and then we're not going to worry about pricing because that's our next tab. If this screen is not there sometimes, it's because there's an arrow down here that you need to click the arrow and it brings that screen up. So just make sure you click that arrow and then it'll always bring you to your bottom line screen. We're going to skip the pricing screen because we don't really even need to go in there. It's all based on what you're selling per kilowatt hour price. So my payment tab is where it really gets exciting. This is where you're going to figure out how much you're going to save the homeowner money. So I know already that the homeowner was spending an average of $245 a month. The reason why I use this spreadsheet is because Clean Power Finance is not accurate sometimes on either the cost per kilowatt hour, or there's various variables that occur inside the proposal tool. But we already know what the homeowner's spending. So they're spending $245 a month on the average. So I have multiple options in this page. I love the kilowatt prepaid option because that works with the Hero financing program. So I'm going to try to design a system based on a prepaid deal. So I know that the homeowner's at 200 and, so let's just check again real quick. $245 a month is what they're paying. So I'm going to sell them this system at $5 a kilowatt hour. And I click on the pencil to make my changes. So it's going to recalculate as soon as the wheel is done. So I know already that this pre-monthly solar cost is not $402, it's $256. So my post-solar monthly cost is $71 and their monthly saving is $256. So what is their true monthly savings? I'm going to take 402 divided by, or minus 245. So 157. I need to take 402 minus 157. So it's 245. So $157 is 331. 331 minus 157. So their actual savings is $174 a month. Because their new utility bill is going to be $71 on the average, and the We never know what the homeowner's remaining utility bill is going to be because their usage could change from month to month or year to year. And most people end up using more electricity after they go solar because they've been living uncomfortably for the past, their whole life they've been living uncomfortably because they don't want to turn that air conditioning on because they know it's going to cost them a couple $100s a month. So I would almost guarantee that this post-solar monthly cost for anybody that goes solar is going to be more than what it's showing on the proposal tool. So this homeowner's, I'm saving them $174 a month based on their $245 electricity bill and their post-solar monthly cost of $71. I'm selling it at $5 per watt, and their price per kilowatt is at an astonishing 10.2 cents a kilowatt hour. If I wanted to change that, I could just say, I want their kilowatt price to be 9 cents a kilowatt hour. I'd click away. It's going to change it to 9 cents a kilowatt hour. It's going to change my per watt price. It's going to change my gross system price. And it's also going to change my initial payment. The initial payment is, on a prepaid deal, is what needs to be paid to Clean Power Finance, whether it be through the HERO program or alternative financing, for the homeowner to be able to qualify for this program. So this is interesting. It says why. So now my kilowatt price is too high. The year one kilowatt price is too high. Okay, so this actually ended up to be 90 cents. So now I just go over, I hit 0.09, and now I should be at 9 cents instead of 90 cents a kilowatt hour. So there's just little things in there that you need to make sure that that you input exactly the way that you want it, and that was a simple mistake. And the system won't let me continue unless you're saving the homeowner money, which is a beautiful thing about this proposal tool, is it will not let you sell the customer something that's not going to save them money. So I'm going to go back to $5 a watt, and that's going to be my prepaid option. If I wanted to sell this homeowner a monthly power purchase agreement or a monthly lease, I have drop downs on any of the three columns. I could change it to a kilowatt PPA Platinum, which is a monthly product where the homeowner is going to pay monthly. I'm going to show you real quick what the difference is if I was to do apples to apples. If I was to sell this homeowner a monthly product at $5 per watt, their monthly savings, I need to deduct $157 off that 402, and I also need to deduct $157 off this post-solar monthly. So the effective savings on the kilowatt monthly would be next to nothing. That's why I like the prepaid option. But it's up to you. You can see that the homeowner's price per kilowatt hour is 19.1 cents compared to 10.2 cents. So their monthly finance payment would be $219. So they would be saving about almost $30 a month on the monthly product. So there's two options. So when you're ready to generate this proposal, when you're happy with the amount and the gross price of the system, you hit the select button, you highlight it in blue, you go to your review tab, you hit OK. This is going to let you audit your proposal presentation. If not, and you're happy with it, you hit the review tab. After the wheel of death is done doing what it's doing, this is an internet-based program, you're going to generate proposal and documents down here on the bottom green button. You're going to verify that your rebate is correct via an EPBB. We will do that in a later lesson. Once you're good to go with that, you click the confirm incentive amount. This is after you've checked your EPBB amount and verified that the rebate is going to be $1,400.55. And as soon as the wheel of death is done, we are going to generate documents and print them out and go schedule our appointment and close the homeowner in solar PV. Happy trails and good luck and happy selling.